Our lead story, a shocking Nihang attack caught on camera. This attack took place in broad daylight. Sword-wielding men attacked a Shiv Sena leader in Punjab's Ludhiana. They've now been arrested, but look at those shocking visuals coming in of the two sword-wielding men attacking the Shiv Sena leader. This as the gunmen watched, they did not intervene. In fact, what we're being told is that the Shiv Sena leader is critically injured. He was also very vocal, he has been very vocal against the whole Khalistan issue. The police are probing all the angles, but the attackers have been arrested.
अभी टोटल 3 थे, 2 हमने अरेस्ट कर चुके हैं, 1 अभी भी वांटेड है।
तो अभी सर क्या लगता है किसी डेरे से संबंधित है?
देखो ये सारे जो एंगल है आफ्टर डिटेल इन्वेस्टिगेशन हम कुछ कह सकते हैं। डिटेल इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी उस तो बाद ही कोई मतलब
ये जो दो जो वांटेड थे लुधियाना पुलिस को, ये गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी के पास के इलाके में हमारी टीम्स को मिले, वहाँ पे इनको अरेस्ट किया गया। इनका जो स्कूटी है, स्कूटी लेकर ये वारदात के बाद भागे थे, उसको बरामद किया गया। तो जांच का दायरा है वो खुला है, तो हर तरीके से जांच की जा रही है। हर इलाके में जो है इसकी अलर्ट माननीय डीजीपी साहब की तरफ से की गई है।
Violence has taken place in the middle of Ludhiana when the Shiv Sena leader was being attacked by Nihangs in broad daylight. What we have learned, Shiv Sena leader had already got a security cover and one gunman was along with him when this incident had taken place. But he was helpless and could not do anything to avoid this attack. What we have learned, police registered immediately an FIR and investigation has already been started into this case, and some of the accused have already been nabbed by police in this case. Meanwhile, some of the Nihangs, they had posted a video on the social media saying that one should refrain from giving any controversial statement against Sikhs and the martyrs. With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Group Singh China for NDTV, Chandigarh.
Moving now to shocking news coming in from Tamil Nadu. The BSP chief of the state unit, he was hacked to death by gangsters. K. Armstrong, in fact, has been hacked to death. Those gangsters came masquerading as food delivery agents. In fact, an inquiry has been set up. The officials also suspect a revenge murder angle, but a chilling gang attack there in Tamil Nadu. Sam Daniel, our senior colleague, is now joining us live on the phone line. So Sam, the police are also expecting some sort of a conspiracy, a revenge murder angle?
Vedant, that's what preliminary investigation suggests, according to the police. The investigation is underway, but they say this could be linked to a murder of a gangster in Chennai last year. And the investigation is going on in that direction. And he was murdered by 6 people who came on motorbikes when he was talking to his party functionaries near his house at a place called Perambur. And the locality is called Sembiam. And he was rushed to the hospital, but authorities there declared him brought dead. And this has certainly shocked Chennai. And already the opposition leader, Edappadi Palaniswamy, has slammed the ruling DMK, calling it's a clear sign of deterioration of law and order. And he says people have fear neither for the police nor for the law. And we should wait for official information on the investigation. But at the moment, it looks like a revenge murder.
Sam, thanks very much for joining us with that update. Absolutely shocking there. In fact, several reactions coming in also. The AIADMK chief has said that the BSP leader's killing is shocking and painful. Absolutely horrific there, how he was hacked to death in Tamil Nadu. Moving now to what's become the latest political flashpoint between the government and the opposition, and no less than the leader of opposition has been doubling down on his claims that a slain Agniveer's family was not given compensation. In fact, this after the army as well as the government refuted Rahul Gandhi's claims earlier. Rahul Gandhi has now put out a video yet again saying that they were given insurance and not compensation, and there's a difference, and that the government continues to lie. Take a look.
नमस्कार। शहीद अजय कुमार जी के परिवार को आज तक कॉम्पेंसेशन नहीं मिला है। 6 महीने हो गए, उनके बैंक अकाउंट में आज तक पैसा नहीं आया है। कॉम्पनसेशन में और इंश्योरेंस में फर्क होता है। कॉम्पनसेशन का पैसा उनके बैंक अकाउंट में नहीं आया है। आज तक उनको एक्स ग्रेशिया पेमेंट क्यों नहीं मिला? आज तक उनके बैंक अकाउंट में सैलरी अरियर्स का पैसा क्यों नहीं मिला?
अगर आप अपनी इंश्योरेंस कराते हो आपको उसका पैसा मिलता है, मुआवजा मिलता है, तो उसका पैसा किसने दिया? आपने दिया ना। तो आप ये तो नहीं बोलोगे भारत सरकार ने दिया। लेकिन यहाँ जब भारत सरकार उसका प्रीमियम पे करती है सबको कवर करने के लिए, या जो आपको 5 लाख रुपए आयुष्मान भारत में मिलता है तो भारत सरकार देती है इसका पैसा। हिम केयर योजना थी तो हिमाचल सरकार देती थी इसका पैसा। ये राहुल गांधी जी जेब से नहीं देते हैं जी। आप कर नहीं पाए, जिसने किया आप उस पर प्रश्न चिन्ह खड़ा करते हो। अरे मेरा सवाल है कांग्रेस पार्टी से, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की सरकार से पहले कांग्रेस क्या करती थी? किसी शहीद का पार्थिव शरीर घर तक नहीं आता था।
Moving now to the other big headline. Well, the central government has filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court, and this affidavit comes right ahead of the Supreme Court's hearing of the crucial case. The Supreme Court will be hearing multiple petitions in this particular case, and the centre has virtually ruled out the possibility of a re-examination for all 24 lakh NEET aspirants. The centre says there's no proof or evidence of large-scale irregularity or discrepancy, and that it will jeopardize honest students who had given the examination. This, as many students have been demanding a re-NEET. Meanwhile, moving now to our extensive coverage of the floods in Assam. Well, 6 people have died in the past 24 hours, and the situation is only worsening. In fact, key roads are now underwater, houses and offices have been submerged. The Chief Minister, in fact, waded through knee-deep, waist-deep water, in fact, to reassure the victims of all preparedness. There you can see those visuals of Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. NDTV reports from the epicenter of the floods.
Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma assessing first-hand the damage, wading through a waterlogged street of Dibrugarh town, the nerve center of Upper Assam region. He tried to reassure the worst affected.
This is the second wave of flood Assam is witnessing. However, water has receded significantly in last 2 days. I hope that if this continues for another 2 to 3 days without rain, then situation will improve significantly and people will be able to go back from the relief camp.
इलेक्ट्रिक सप्लाई अगर दे देता है तो कम से कम 2 घंटा हम लोग का इलेक्ट्रिसिटी दे देगा, हम लोग चार्ज कर इन्वर्टर चार्ज
Parts of the town has been waterlogged and without electricity and adequate drinking water for almost a week. Even in Guwahati, many areas are waterlogged. The Assam Chief Minister has assessed the situation in flood-affected areas of Upper Assam, where floodwaters are now receding. But 700 kilometers away in Dhubri, the southernmost tip of Lower Assam, floodwaters are still high and in many parts, roads are badly damaged. 300 kilometers from Dhubri, at Palashbari near Guwahati, people say such floods are unprecedented.
আগতে দেখছো বহুত দেখছো বিয়া নাবাৰ পৰে দেখছো এইবাৰৰ বানপানীটো অলপ ডাঙৰ এতিয়া ইমান ডাঙৰ নাছিল ইলাগে ডাঙৰ আহিছে অকষ্টত আহিছে 8 ঘণ্টাতে হৈ গৈছে ইমান পানী বস্তুটা চাউৰা কৰি উঠে তত নাপায় কিছুমান চৌকেট টকত ভিজিছে ভিতৰত
The flood situation in Assam remains grim. Over 80% of the state is inundated. The Brahmaputra river is flowing above danger mark in several places. So are several other rivers. We are in Palashbari. This is the area which is just next to the Brahmaputra river, very close to Guwahati. This is perhaps marks the beginning of the Lower Assam region. Relief volunteers say once the water recedes, the biggest challenge will be sanitation.
अभी थोड़ा बहुत जो देख रहे हैं हम लोग या पब्लिक से भी जो हमें फीडबैक मिल रही है कि अभी जो 10% वाटर है वो निकलने के बाद में थोड़ा सैनिटाइजेशन इशू, हेल्थ इशू वो सब आने वाला है, वो हमें भी पता है.
Even in southern Assam, the Barak Valley region is still flooded. In Guwahati, Ratndeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
And moving now to a story we've been tracking very closely on NDTV. 3 days on, and the notorious Godman who was behind the killer satsang has still not been arrested. Now remember, in Hathras, Rahul Gandhi visited the families of the deceased and of the victims there. In fact, he said that politics over dead is something that he will not encourage. This as a probe panel chief, the SIT chief, says that the conspiracy angle cannot be entirely ruled out. Take a look.
3 days since the Hathras stampede that killed 121, and yet the Baba at whose congregation the tragedy occurred is yet to be arrested or even questioned. While the bereaved and the injured are still coming to terms with their trauma, the self-proclaimed Godman is nowhere in sight, not at his ashram and not mentioned in the FIR either. Leader of opposition and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi came to meet the victims' families in Hathras and Aligarh.
मैं इसको राजनीतिक प्रिज्म से नहीं कहना चाहता हूँ, मगर प्रशासन की कमी तो है जी, और गलतियाँ तो हुई हैं, तो ये पता लगाना चाहिए। और शायद सबसे ज़रूरी बात कि कॉम्पनसेशन सही मिलना चाहिए। मैं यूपी के चीफ मिनिस्टर से विनती करता हूं कि दिल खोल के कॉम्पनसेशन करें।
An SIT probe and a judicial inquiry is underway. 6 of the organizers are already in custody. Of the 6 arrested, Ram Ladait Yadav of Bhanpur village in Kasganj is an innocent farmer, claims his daughter. But where is Bhole Baba himself? This is the 5-star ashram of Bhole Baba, alias Surajpal Singh, who owns 6 such ashrams in Agra, Mainpuri, Kasganj, Kanpur and hundreds of acres of land besides many luxury cars. Outside his ashram in Kasganj, a sign reads that they don't accept donations. Yet inside, there's a list of donors.
हमने भी सेवादारी की है, मेरे को जी भला नहीं हुआ है, मैं वहाँ पर कम से कम 10 साल सेवादारी की है। पैसा वो नहीं लेते हैं, उनकी एजेंट है ना, उनके एजेंट है ना, पब्लिक है ना, पब्लिक पैसे नहीं लेते हैं। आप घी ले जाओ, चावल ले जाओ, दूध ले जाओ, दही ले जाओ, कुछ भी ले जाओ, वो सब ले लेंगे, पैसा नहीं लेंगे।
121 lives lost. 6 of the organizers of this satsang are arrested, but the Godman and the main accused are still absconding. Why is it that the police and the district administration are taking so much time to track down this Baba? Who is to blame for this mishap? Many questions lie unanswered, while the damage has long been done. With camera persons Sachin Gupta, Mohammad Mursalin and Ravish Ranjan Shukla, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV.
And with that, we'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side. Welcome back. The Ministry of Communications has clarified on the tariff hike. In fact, the government has said that these are misleading claims, going on to say that the subscribers' interest is paramount and it's actually market forces that determine the telecom sector prices. Ishika Verma is now joining us live on the phone line. So Ishika, this had become a huge controversy, but now the government coming out and clarifying that it's ultimately the market forces that determine, the prices in the telecom sector.
Well, yes, that's right, Vedant. As you rightly pointed out, now, in fact, the government has come out with this clarification and they have said that the rates of the telecommunication services are decided by the market forces and the government does not intervene in the free market decisions. Now, the Ministry, in fact, of Communication has also said that this increase in the prices has come after more than 2 years. And they say that in the last 2 years, some of these tariff service providers had invested heavily in rolling out the 5G services across the country. Thus, while protecting the interests of the subscribers, for orderly growth of the telecommunications sector, the financial viability of the sector is also important. Remember that today itself, in fact, we did see how the Congress party had also attacked the government, saying that, in fact, this additional burden of the tariff increase is around 34,824 crore for that 109 crore cell phone users. And they, in fact, had, questions that how can government let this much amount be increased without any oversight or regulation. Now, they had also questioned that whether the government was waiting till the parliament ended so that they cannot be questioned. So these were the questions that were raised by the opposition party, and now, in fact, the government coming out with this clarification that these, rates are decided, in fact, by the market forces, and the government does not intervene in the free market decisions. Over to you.
Ishika, thanks very much for joining us on that important story. As Ishika is reporting, this had become a political flashpoint as well, with the government now clarifying. Moving now to news from Telangana. Well, a rather rousing welcome for the new Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu. Well, this is his first visit to Telangana after his victory, after his poll victory, and there was a giant garland for CBN as well. There you can see how a crane was actually brought in to carry that giant garland for Chandrababu Naidu. He's also set to meet Revanth Reddy. What really is on the cards and how important is that meeting with Revanth Reddy? Uma Sudhir with the latest.
Posters, flexis, banners, the yellow of the Telugu Desam once again here as Hyderabad is welcoming the arrival of Chandrababu Naidu once again to Telangana and to Hyderabad, this time as the Chief Minister once again of Andhra Pradesh. This is Chandrababu Naidu 4.0. And yes, Chandrababu Naidu going to be meeting with Revanth Reddy, Telangana's Chief Minister, is certainly a big occasion, and that's the reason why posters like this have come up saying that when the two Chief Ministers of the two Telugu states meet, it will be the beginning of something new. Lot of political speculation that's happening. First of all, let me explain the significance of this color that is once again there here, because in the last few years you would not see posters of Chandrababu Naidu or the yellow color of the Telugu Desam anywhere here, because for the BRS and for KCR, Chandrababu Naidu was that picture of Andhra Pradesh and of dominance by the Andhra rulers, as he put it. In fact, even in the 2019 elections, when they fought it along with the Congress, at that time, one of the reasons why the Congress is said to have lost the election is because they were hand in glove with Chandrababu Naidu, who was portrayed as a ruler from Andhra Pradesh once again coming to dominate Telangana. Now political equations have changed and the political dynamics have also changed. Andhra Pradesh and Chandrababu Naidu once again in the limelight as someone who was the biggest partner of the NDA sitting in Andhra Pradesh with his 16 MPs. What is significant is both these chief ministers are coming together. The venue is also significant. They are going to be at the Jyotirao Phule Bhavan, the earlier residence of the former Chief Minister KCR, that is called Pragati Bhavan, and now this is now called Praja Bhavan, and that's the venue where Naidu is going to be hosted by Revanth Reddy.
All right, news now coming in. The key accused in the Hathras stampede has surrendered. Remember, this is going to be an important development in the case. He was a key organizer. Remember, he has been named as a key accused in the FIR as well. Though the Baba, of course, has not been named. But this particular man who has now surrendered in Delhi, remember, was the main organizer as far as the entire satsang, the religious congregation, was concerned. Dev Prakash Madhukar. He is among the key sevadars, the main sevadars of the religious congregation that was held at Sikandra Rao near Hathras. Remember, the government, the state administration has put the blame entirely on the organizers, saying that proper arrangements were not being made. Because remember, there were multiple loopholes that had come to light as well, including the fact that there was a single entry and exit point, there was no contingency plan in place, there wasn't even an ambulance present at an event that saw crowds of over 2.5 lakh people. In fact, the permission was given only for 80,000 people, but nearly 2.5 lakh people turned up for this particular event. In fact, this comes after 6 key accused, 6 key organizers were arrested from Mainpuri, from ETA as well as Hathras, and now Dev Prakash Madhukar has also surrendered. This is a very important development in this entire case, though of course questions are being raised as to why Baba Bhole has not been named in the FIR, why there is no move to question him. To this, what sources within the UP police have indicated is that the onus lies on the organizers, given the fact that there were many administrative loopholes, organizational loopholes that had come to light, including the fact that the grounds were not fit to accommodate as many as 2.5 lakh people. Now remember, Dev Prakash Madhukar, if I can just tell you a little bit about him, he was part of the organizing committee and he has organized multiple other events, multiple other satsangs for Baba Bhole as well. In fact, a satsang was planned in Agra as well that had to be cancelled after this absolutely horrific stampede took place at the religious congregation in Sikandra Rao. Remember, 121 people, mostly women, had died. In fact, multiple children had died as well. Though what we are being told, of course, is that all bodies have been identified. In fact, the post-mortem of all the bodies has been completed as well. But a key development here that this organizer, the head organizer, the main organizer, has now surrendered in Delhi. In fact, Dev Prakash Madhukar was the main accused in the FIR as well. There were, serious charges like culpable homicide that were mentioned, that were invoked in the FIR as well. And also, remember, the FIR in a sense detailed how the organizers did not cooperate with the local administration, though of course questions on the UP government and the local administration also being raised, given the fact that many organizers, many eyewitnesses have pointed out that there were no proper arrangements, proper police deployment. In fact, there were just 70 cops for a crowd of 2.5 lakh people. But the big question still remains, why has the Baba not been arrested? Why has he not been questioned? One of his sevadars, main sevadars, now arrested. And with that, we'll take a short break now, but news continues on the other side.